Ireland has always been a nation of amazing culture, stories, and artists, and 2024 was no different. So please join me while I rank my top Irish 2024 moments. Okay, so I'm only one person, so if I have missed your favourite Irish moment or Northern Irish moment of the year, I do apologise. I was trying to rack my brain of the best bits. Also, being from the North or Northern Ireland, whatever your persuasion is, whatever you want to call it, some of these might be a bit niche, but I found them funny. So I thought I would bring them into this video. Also, I'm wearing my Belfast top and my amazing scarf from Aoife Colley Art. I am obsessed with it, but I might take the scarf off for the video just because, yeah, I'll take the scarf off, but I am obsessed with it. Also, I've got my Guinness earrings on, which I made myself. I'm fully decked out today, so there we go. Also, somebody asked me in my last video, did I have a sty in my eye? And it's just rainbow eyeshadow. So this eye is like red, orange, yellow and pink. And then this eye is purple, blue and green. Some people said that this didn't show up on the camera, but I promise it's there in real life and I don't have a sty in my eye. They were like, are you unwell? I was like, no, I'm fine. But thanks for the concern. So I'll take you through the tier list because it might be a bit unconventional. At the very bottom, we have chicken fillet roll. Now, I am partial to a chicken fillet roll. I'm not against chicken fillet rolls, okay? This is a chicken fillet roll, by the way. I always find any time that any Irish person is being interviewed on the red carpet, it's always like, oh my god, chicken fillet rolls. And I think we could maybe ask Irish people a different question, like maybe what Tito was better, north versus south. Okay, no hate. This is a joke, by the way. All of these are jokes, like it's meant to be funny. I understand people don't find me funny, so that's fine. So chicken fillet roll tier will be anything that I'm like, okay, we can leave that in 2024. It's the bottom. The next one we have are the guards are to be rang. Now, I searched high and low to find the original guards are to be rang video, and I think it was an escaped horse, and these people were going, the guards are to be rang, they're to be rang, the guards.
Ring the guards, no!
Ring the guards, no. Ring the guards. Guards are to be rang. Rang. Watch. This man is very aggressive.
Guards are to be rang. It's not the worst. Maybe something doesn't line up about it. For example, I didn't realise the original video was a horse. I just knew the audio. And I'm also using it in a sort of way of like, oh, let's call the police. Like, get the police on the phone, get the guards on the phone. Someone needs to be arrested. Next up, we have the iconic Nadine Coyle. What date of birth did I say there now?
Date of birth 15th of the 6th, 85. Making me a Gemini. Date of birth did I say now?
This tier, it's, you know, it's a bit iconic, it's a bit funny, but also because she forgot her birthday, it's maybe a bit forgettable, or I forgot it existed, something like that. Next one, we have a personal favourite of mine. Daniel is here. He's here. This one is a B&B owner when Daniel O'Donnell turned up to her house. Her B&B, and she was looking out the window at him coming, and she was like, Daniel is here.
Oh, my God, Daniel is outside. He's here. Oh, dear God. Daniel is here.
No.
He's here.
So this is like, you know, just below top. Then at the very top, we have the £85 Grinch. Now you're probably like, Chloe, we're sick of the £85 Grinch. We've had enough. Stop going on about this stupid £85 Grinch. But I will not stop going on about the £85 Grinch. My last video was about the £85 Grinch. Okay? How many times am I going to say that? Basically, the £85 Grinch was this woman hired a Grinch to come and have like a party with her sons in her home, and this was in Belfast. So many people don't realise the £85 Grinch is a Belfast icon. So the £85 Grinch tier is a tier where you can't get any better than this. It's iconic, it's memorable, we'll be talking about it for years to come. Okay, so let's start off the tier list. In no particular order, we have the Spark song. It was these kids from Cork, and they made this rap song, and it went absolutely viral. It's, you know, the song that's like, think you can stop what we do? I doubt it. I can't sing, but there we go. That's why I don't do musical theatre. It's a catchy song. The kids looked like they were having the time of their life. Anytime they did an interview about it, they were so excited. Everyone from Cork was excited. I know some people think the song might get a bit old, but I think it's hilarious. So I'm going to put it in Daniel Is Here. It's our first Daniel Is Here. I think it's well deserved. Next up is a cultural icon. Okay, I will not have any Diane from the Traitors slander. What an absolute blinder she played. Basically, if you don't know the Traitors, I'm going to do a whole video about the Traitors, because also it comes back tomorrow, how exciting, or today if you're watching this, comes back New Year's Day. And she went on the show with her son, but nobody knew it was her son, like the audience didn't even know. And basically there's like 3 traitors who have to murder people every night, and you have to try and get the traitors out. And some people thought that this guy Paul, who was a traitor, thought that he was her son because they both had like similar coloured hair. And then she came on and did like a VT to camera, and she was like, well, Paul just couldn't be my son. But Ross is. And it was iconic, and the nation loved her, and I love her, and it's going straight an £85 Grinch because I want her on more shows in 2025. She was on the Big Fat Quiz of the Year. I know she was on MasterChef. Get her on Race Across the World. Get her on a panel show. She can have her own panel show and I would watch it. Love you, Diane from the Traitors. There's people watching me outside the window. Yeah, I'm just talking about Diane from the Traitors. That guy actually looks like Wilf from the Traitors. Like, I'm not even joking. That's really scary. Anyway, next we have the Paul Mescal lookalike competition. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of the lookalike competitions that I think started with the Timothy Chalamet lookalike competition, where he actually turned up. Anyway, Paul Mescal did not turn up to this one. He said he didn't know about it until afterwards. But this guy who won, he won €20 or like £3. And then apparently he also got a free pair of GAA shorts, which I would say is a win. The guy's name who won is Jack Wall O'Reilly, and he actually had a video call with Paul Mescal, which I thought was so funny. I'm going to put this in what date of birth did I say, because it was funny when it happened and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and then everyone moved on. The next one, okay, I am stretching it a wee bit, so please don't come for me, but it is Ayo Edebiri. I love her so much, and I know that the whole Irish bit started last year, but it really ramped up this year, especially with her SNL appearance, with the t-shirt that she wore, and I just love her. I think the bit is hilarious. I want her in an Irish rom-com with Paul Mescal. Can we get this written ASAP? Can you cast me in it? Can I be like, I'll be a waitress with like one line, I don't care, I'll be an extra. Basically it all started with an interview in 2023 when she was asked, I think it was like on a red carpet, and she was asked a question, and she said that she was like method acting to play the donkey in Banshees of Inisherin.
For preparing for that, I lived in Ireland for about 4 months. I was on all fours for 4 months.
I'm going to put this in what date of birth did I say, only for the fact that I know I'm stretching it a wee bit, and also I want more of it in 2025, which is why it can't go higher. But I would put it in £85 Grinch, but I'm not going to do that. Next one, we have your man Barry cheating on Sabrina. Hello, editing me here again. Apparently he didn't cheat on her, and it was all rumours. So this ranking will now be the ranking of like how crazy everybody went, including like your woman Brecky Hill, who was like reposting all those videos and the rumour videos that she was the one who he cheated on with, but she was just reposting these videos on TikTok. There we go. Chicken fillet roll. People then like doxed his house though, and I know he has like a son, and people were like going to his granny's house, which don't be doing that. Let's not do that. Chicken fillet roll, I don't really care that much. I want to move on. There we go. A late entry for the tier list this year, which is this is one of the reasons that inspired me to do this. The chippy woman who talks about the Christmas chip. Now, I'm sure everyone has seen the English chippy girl who talks about the haddock meal, the mini haddock meal. But this woman, I don't know her name, I looked it up, but all I found out was that she works at Selby's Fish and Chip Shop on the Falls Road. I'm in love with her. The way that she talked about the Christmas chip with such passion, oh my god, unreal. I'm going to play the video now if you don't know what a Christmas chip is.
Christmas chip is basically a Christmas dinner all in one. So it's your turkey, your ham, your stuffing, your cocktail sausages on your chips with gravy. People can have cranberry if they wish, but the majority don't.
Also, I thought that this went viral, but it turns out there's only like 50 videos under the sound. So I think I was just living in a Christmas chip bubble. But I'm going to put this in £85 Grinch. Also, look at the top two, Diane and Selby's Christmas chip woman. These two women, iconic. Imagine if Diane was interviewing her. Next up, we have Ireland at the Olympics. We did so well at the Olympics. The whole nation was glued to the screens. I swear everyone became an expert in swimming and gymnastics. We won 7 medals at the Olympics and 6 medals at the Paralympics, and I just think that is insane for such a small wee country. So this is going in £85 Grinch. Also, I went to school with Reese McClenaghan, so it has to be £85 Grinch because it's class that he's doing so well, especially for like the local communities and everything. Next up, we have a listener who was listening to RTE radio and called in to complain about a Charlie XCX song. And I listened to the clip, okay, it was 16 minutes long of this woman going on a rant, and then I got another guy who phoned in who was like, I think it's fine, and honestly, I was like, this is 16 minutes of my life that I'm not going to get back. She was going on about how her daughter was in the car. Her daughter was like 11. But also, it was played on the radio, so it was censored. She specifically said, my daughter like cocked her head to the side in confusion. And I was like, why are you talking as if that you're like writing a novel? I was like, who actually says that? Also, it made no sense to me because it's all like the words would be censored on the radio. And this is what the guy Joe on RTE was saying to her. And she was like, no, I looked it up and then I wrote all the lyrics down and then I complained to the commissioner. And it's like, but then you looked it up, you wrote the lyrics down that weren't on the radio. So I'm confused at what you're complaining about. And she was saying about how it's not female empowerment, how it's so bad, how it's pushing things down your throat. And I was like, oh guys, come on. So this is going to go in chicken fillet roll for me. I think we need to leave this attitude in 2024. It should have been left decades ago. But yeah, there we go. Then we have an American woman who was in Donegal. She'd went to like a Taylor Swift concert in Ireland, and then she was like touring just round the place. And she got stuck in an orange order parade, and she posted it on TikTok thinking it was like a happy wee jolly Irish parade. And this was hilarious. There are multiple things that I find hilarious about this video. The fact that she looked so happy just hanging out the window. She had a tricolour bracelet on. The fact she just posted it on TikTok. And okay, you might be like, oh, but doesn't it highlight just how little people know about Ireland? Yeah, but it's also really funny. So the woman, Liz White, she then responded to all the backlash and was like, okay, I'm going to educate myself on the history of Ireland and everything about this. Then she watched the Derry Girls episode where they get stuck in an orange order parade, and I just thought that was so funny because it's really life imitating art. So this is going to go in what date of birth did I say, purely because it was iconic and funny at the time, but I actually forgot that it happened. So sorry, Liz White, but it's still a pretty good ranking. Then we have Paul Mescal got asked if he enjoyed meeting the king. So this was for the Gladiator 2 premiere, or press for it. And I also think it's just a bizarre thing to ask anyway. I mean, I'd want to be asked about the film, like I personally wouldn't want to be asked how it was meeting the king. Never mind having like an English person asking an Irish person what they thought about meeting the king. So this is going to go in chicken fillet roll, not for Paul's response, because Paul said, I love how I'm like, Paul said this, Paul Mescal was like, yeah, it wasn't really high on my list of priorities. And then people started writing articles about it. People were getting outraged. And I was like, guys, it's really not that big of a deal. He just wasn't that thrilled about meeting the king. Let's move on. Then we have Paul Mescal's SNL sketch, which also got people up in arms. This is going to go in Guards Are to Be Rang. Not for his actual SNL appearance, because I thought that was hilarious and so funny. And also, he fitted some of the sketches so well. But people's outrage to this, I was like, guys, what is happening? Why is Paul Mescal in so many headlines about anti-Britishness? Then we have the fact that Kerrygold was named the best butter by the New York Times. Now, I find this amazing. Me and Kerrygold go way back. I posted a TikTok video like 3 years ago now, I think, about how one of the Kardashians was using Kerrygold butter to make cookies, and I was just like taking the mick. Like, I thought this was so funny because, you know, she was treating it as like a super rich fancy butter, and I was like, guys, it's just Kerrygold. And I also made a joke about how I prefer Golden Cow butter, which I do prefer Golden Cow butter. It is the superior butter, but you can only get it in Northern Ireland or the North. So I literally bring it in my suitcase whenever I go back to London because I can't cope without my Golden Cow. Golden Cow, please sponsor me. Hello, I'm just editing this. I realised I never explained the ending of that story. So basically, I posted this video. It got like 1.5 million views. People started going crazy, telling me to go bury myself in my own garden, saying that I was in a parasocial relationship with the Kardashians. And I was like, guys, it's just a wee joke. Like, it wasn't meant to be taken that seriously. But I still get hate comments on that video like 2-3 years later. Anyway, I don't know why I never finished the story, but there you go. So the fact that the New York Times is doing an article about Kerrygold, this is going in what date of birth did I say? Just because when I read it, I was like, oh, that's funny. And then I moved on with my life. Then we have Nicola Coughlan, and I was going to talk about how Nicola Coughlan responded about being called like brave for showing her body in season 3 of Bridgerton, and how her response was iconic and amazing. But then I was like, actually, Nicola's just had a class year in general. She was in Doctor Who. I swear every time I turn on the TV, I see her. So I'm going to put her in Daniel Is Here, just because I love her. I want to see her in more things. Also, get Nicola Coughlan and Iowa Debris in a comedy film together. That would be the best thing ever. There's a woman on TikTok who films herself revealing a Daniel O'Donnell calendar every single month, and her and I think they're her kids or cousins or nephews or whatever, and her brother's in on them as well, and they go crazy for Daniel every single month. And I just think this is the best thing I've ever seen. And I know I'm saying that about a lot of things, okay, but I'm just a very expressive person. They did one for every month of 2024. So I really hope that she got a free calendar for 2025, because I want to keep seeing these videos. They start off with like a "here we go," and I'm like, yes, here we go. Show me the Daniel of the month.
Here we go. December's big reveal. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Last of the year.
And then Daniel O'Donnell reacted to it, and he thought it was hilarious. I'm torn between the 85-pound Grinch and Daniel Is Here, just because of the fact it's a Daniel O'Donnell thing, but it's so iconic it has to go 85-pound Grinch, I'm sorry. Do you all remember the 9-month cruise that everyone was going on about? Well, there was a cruise ship that got stuck in Belfast for 4 months. One couple actually sold their house to go on this cruise, and I felt really bad for them because it was docked in Belfast. And also, I don't think you could stay on the boat overnight, so you had to like go in a hotel or like rent a flat or something. But I swear this had more drama than the 9-month cruise. I mean, a couple met, got engaged, and they plan on getting married after the cruise. Like, where's all the news articles about this? They were even going on those, you know, those like wee pedal, what are they called? Like the booze cruise? Not a booze cruise. What is that? They pedal. You've all seen them in Belfast. You sit on it and it goes round the city centre. That's really going to annoy me. I'm going to be like in bed tonight and then I'm going to remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen, whatever they are. But I remember watching the news one night, because sometimes I watch the news, and there were just all these like Americans on one of these like pedal things. And they had like a banner that was like, "Bye bye Belfast." I am going to put it in what date of birth did I say. I know you're probably like, aren't you just putting everything in what date of birth did I say? Yes, and it's my tier list. But ultimately, people had to spend so much money. And I know they probably had the money anyway if they were on the cruise. But it's not 85-pound Grinch level. I actually forgot that the Dublin and New York portal was this year. But it was this year. The Dublin and New York portal was introduced on Wednesday the 8th of May, and I don't know why it feels like it was like 4 years ago, but anyway, it was in May and it was quickly shut down because people were getting naked. Although it did have some really nice moments with people dancing, people waving at maybe family members who live abroad. But I'm going to put this in guards are to be rang, purely for the sake of I wish it had have ran for longer, but people just needed to undress. We then have the fact that pubs are running out of Guinness and everyone is going crazy. There's news articles coming out saying that Gen Z is to blame for there being no Guinness. The amount of videos I see of people splitting the G, it's crazy. But then I read this article that was in December 2023 that was like, this was the year of Guinness. So I'm like, okay, maybe we should have stocked up on Guinness here. If 2023 was the year of Guinness, surely it was only going to go up. I'm going to put this in guards are to be rang. Just because I feel like everyone is taking it out of proportion. People are having a go at Gen Z. And maybe I'm wrong, okay? I'm wearing Guinness earrings right now. Obviously, I'm not saying that social media and TikTok hasn't had an effect. Of course it has. I mean, the statistics show that Google searches for Guinness are up 7% from a couple of months ago. But there's so much pandemonium, so many like news articles that are going crazy, and I'm like, guys, it's only a wee pint of Guinness. Also, aren't they literally making that show called like House of Guinness or something for Netflix? So surely Guinness sales are only going to go up like next year or whenever that's going to come out. Last but not least, we have Saoirse Ronan on Graham Norton, and this was a pretty iconic clip that went viral. That prompted a lot of conversations about violence against women, about safety, and just basically about how men don't think. So a few months ago, Saoirse Ronan was on Graham Norton with Paul Mescal, Eddie Redmayne and Denzel Washington, and they were talking about how Eddie Redmayne had used like a phone as a weapon in his new show. And then Paul Mescal was like, oh, who would even like think or have time to, use a phone as a weapon? Like, he was a bit confused. And then Saoirse Ronan was like, oh, well, that's what girls have to think about all the time. Am I right, ladies? And everyone started clapping. You could see the guys' faces were like, oh. It fully blew up, and then she came out and said in an article that she wasn't expecting it to have that sort of reaction, but it was amazing that it, sort of opened up a conversation and everything. So I'm going to put this in Daniel is here. Absolutely great. I think just if anything, we should talk about it more, and not to do like a segue, but it's something that I don't really see a lot of people talking about, and I feel like a lot of the times the North and Northern Ireland specifically is overlooked a lot by like mainland UK and really the rest of the world, like let's be real. But Northern Ireland is actually one of the most dangerous places to be a woman in Europe. I've been telling people this since I went over to uni in England, and people were shocked. But since 2020, 25 women have been killed, and the majority of them were killed in their own home. And in at least 20 of the killings, the murderer or suspected murderers were known to the victim. And I know this is like a jokey video and a light-hearted video, and it's meant to be a bit of comedy relief, but it's also like really important to talk about these things. So I'm going to put a couple of wee links in the description, just because if you haven't heard about this and if you want to read up on it or have a look at some charities in Northern Ireland, then you can feel free to do so. Anyway, to end 2024, we had so many amazing pieces of media come out of Ireland. We had the Kneecap film, which Kneecap had a big year as well. They won a court case and donated £7,000 to youth projects in the Shankill and Ballymurphy, I think. We had Cillian Murphy in Small Things Like These, great film. We had some amazing TV shows. We had Blue Lights Season 2, Bad Sisters Season 2, Extraordinary Season 2, a lot of Season 2s, Young Offenders Season 4. And also my favourite Irish book that I read this year was Close to Home by Michael McGee. Just if you want some TV show, film, book recommendations, I really recommend you check these things out in 2025. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I know this was quite a short video, but I had the idea and I wanted to do it. I am still writing my next big video essay, which will be longer than this. I have a couple of big video essays on the go for 2025, but I think I'm going to break the video essays up with short, wee videos like this. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much. I also have a small business, and I make some studio vlogs and stuff and tips on small businesses, which I will also link below. Oh my god, the description is going to be like a mile long. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope you had a great holiday season, a great Christmas, and have a great new year.